what does it mean to do the work and how do I begin? And I love that question because so often we're hearing all this terminology about healing, toxic, narcissist, right? Gaslighting, all these different terminology, which is great. It's great that we're learning. But too often I'm seeing women learning all of this, hearing all of this, but still not being clear enough about it to know how does it apply to their life so that they can move on. People are getting, as I say, PhDs in narcissism, but they're still stuck. They're not able to move on. Like the fact that you're watching this right now is great, and I hope that it serves you and I hope that it moves you, and thank you for following and thank you for watching. However, I don't want you to be here next year, right? That is my goal for you. That is why I do what I do here. That is why I have the programs that I have, to make sure that you could be looking up something else on YouTube or anywhere else next year this time, right? So again, the question here is, what does it mean to do the work and how do I begin? And the person that asked me this is one of my followers. Thank you for asking this because I think a lot of people have that question. So when people talk about doing the work, they're talking about doing the work to heal, right? After coming out of a toxic or narcissistic relationship, you want to be able to do the work so that you can heal. But what does that mean? It means putting in the effort to heal from the experience, not depending on time to pass, expecting that you are going to heal from the experience. So let's go a little bit further. What does it mean to heal, right? Again, a term that we keep hearing about, but a lot of times people say, well, am I healing? Am I going in the right direction? So I'm going to tell you what I believe healing from a toxic and narcissistic relationship is all about, how it worked for me in my own personal situation, and how it worked for women that I have worked with. So the first part is 5 parts here. The first part is you are at peace and you accept what happened, right? So you are in a state of calmness. You are in a state of contentment. You are in a state of accepting what happened. I can't go back in the past and change it, but here is where I am now. And when you accept, you're also able to forgive. And I know that's a tricky word for a lot of people, but let me give the definition because that's another word people often use and it ticks a lot of people off, and I understand why. Forgiveness does not mean giving the person a pass for how they treated you. It's you releasing the anger. Not that anger is bad or wrong, but we don't want to get stuck there. That is the key. We do not want to get stuck in a place of anger. Now, it doesn't mean if you hear that person's name and you cringe, or you hear that they're doing it to someone else and you cringe. That's normal. We're human. Healing doesn't mean you become a robot, right? You still have feelings. You don't like to hear about people getting hurt. You don't like to know that other people are going through what you went through. So if you hear that, or if you see them and it's like, ugh, I always say I hate insects, especially centipedes. I'm here in the Caribbean right now, and when I see them, my blood crawls. But I'm not losing sleep thinking about centipedes, right? It's just if I see one, I'm going to be like, ugh, and I'm going to take this can and spray it, right? What do we like to spray them to? Okay, that's another story. Right? So that is accepting, right? Being at peace and accepting. That is a part of healing. You're able to move forward. You're able to not have any anger, any bitterness towards it. That is a part of healing. Another part of healing is understanding how you got there. So I always say healing is not just about feeling better, because sometimes people believe that if I end the relationship, I move, I get a new house, I get a new job, I get a new group of friends, I travel, etc. All those things are nice, and yes, it distracts you. But I believe that if you do not understand the dynamics in which you experience a toxic or narcissistic relationship, you have not really evolved, right? And I believe healing is about evolving, because when you come out of this, when you heal from this, you want to become a wiser woman, right? And in order to become wise, you have to understand your missteps from the past, right? So understanding your missteps, and one of the questions I focus on with my clients in the Relationship Detox is, how did I end up here in the first place? Why did I make the decision to be with this person in the first place, right? And the other part is, why did I stay when I saw signs that this person was not right? We all saw signs. Maybe we chose to ignore the signs, but we did see signs. So why did I choose to ignore the signs? Now, these questions that I'm giving you is not something that you can answer right away, right? It takes time to think about it, to journal about it, to pray about it, to really be honest with yourself about it, because sometimes it's uncomfortable to be honest about the missteps that we took, that we made, the mistakes that we made. Sometimes it helps to have someone to go through it with you, a program, a coach, a therapist, maybe a close friend that has the capacity to help you through that, right? Whatever it is, sometimes we need that extra support. But these are the questions that when you're able to answer that, you are then able to learn and evolve from the experience. And I believe that is a part of healing too. The third question is, I don't know if I said this already. How did I get here? Why did I stay? And what parts of me needs to change to make sure I don't end up in a situation like that again. Now that's also key, because sometimes people believe that you have to change all of you. I'm too nice. I need to be harder. I need to be more mean. I need to be, whatever it is. You don't need to change all of who you are. If you do, they're actually winning, because people with narcissistic traits, they actually love to see that even though you're not with them anymore, that they have been able to taint you, right? They love to see that. So don't let them win, right? Don't change all of you. Don't become mean and cold and bitter, right? That's not the goal. The goal is to become wiser, to have discernment about who to give your nice personality and characteristics to. Okay. So again, the question is, what needs to change in order to make sure I don't end up here again? There are certain parts of you that attracted this person, kept this person, and coddled this person, tolerated the abuse, right? Tolerated the mistreatment. And those are the parts of us that needs to change. And then the fifth part is of healing is the experience no longer governs your life. So what do I mean by that? We spoke about that just a little while ago. You want to make sure that you are not living your life now from a tainted perspective, right? And it can seep in. Again, healing doesn't mean you are a robot, you're not human, and things won't come up. But when you're healed, you're able to then say, okay, I realize I'm doing this. Let me give you an example. When I first started dating my husband, I got remarried. I have a husband. And we went to the beach, and we came with a case of drinks, right, on the beach. However, on the beach, he ended up ordering, what did he do? He ordered some drinks, something like that. And I was like, no, I don't need the drinks. I have drinks here. And I was like really adamant about telling him, like, don't do it for me, you know? And after the waiter left, he explained why he did it, because his friend was there. I forgot the exact situation. But my point is, I became extremely defensive over something so simple. And that was in the beginning of our relationship, where that was my first real relationship after the narcissistic relationship, right? So the fact that he was able to point that out to me, I was then able to reflect and say, well, why did you respond like that, Naila? I was able to then understand that I was repeating, or I was expecting him to treat me in the way that the narcissistic ex had treated me, right? And I had to adjust and say, okay, you're not in that space anymore. This is a different person. And I had to then adjust how I responded, right? So that is a way that if I did not adjust that, then my past experiences would be governing my new experiences. And when you are healed, you're able to stop it before that happens, right? And even if it does happen, like in my case, I became defensive, I'm then able to sit back and reflect and say, okay, this is not the same situation. I have to adjust my approach. So the second part to this question, the person asked, not only how do I do the work to heal, but how do I begin? Where do I start? And it's really with some questions, answering some questions. And it's not something that happens overnight. So you have to be patient with yourself. But I'm going to give you these 3 steps to start with. And then you let me know in the comments below how it's going for you, and let me know if you have any questions. So write this down. Pause this if you need to, get your pen and paper. Why did I choose this person? When you're able to understand that, your role, it makes a huge difference, right? Why did I choose this person? The second question is, what red flags did I see, and why did I choose to ignore them? Okay. And the third question is, or the third assignment I'll give you is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for making a mistake in who you chose. Forgive yourself for allowing them to treat you the way that they treated you. And what I find is that it's easier to forgive yourself when you are working on yourself, right? Because you don't feel like you're just giving yourself a pass, but you're like, okay, I was a different person then, but I'm growing now. We always feel good when we are making progress. As human beings, we are on this earth to progress. We're not here to be stagnant. And I believe that's a big reason a lot of people are struggling with, feeling unhappy, discontent, stress, depressed, because they're stagnant. They're not moving. We are here to move. So it is a lot easier to forgive yourself when you are working on yourself. So as you are working on yourself, it goes hand in hand. Forgive yourself. If you have any questions for me, put them in the comments below. Let me know if you have started any of these questions before for yourself, if you are doing the work, if this gave you some clarity. If you want any support, whether you are still in a toxic and narcissistic relationship and you want to leave, you don't know where to start, or you are on your way out or have been out for a while, either way, you want some support because you realize, as I always say, these are not normal breakups, right? Coming out of these relationships is just the tip of the iceberg. And I believe that's why a lot of people even stay in the relationships. They're like, I don't know where to start, and it's extremely scary. I have a program called the Relationship Detox. If you are interested in getting support and some guidance from not only a mental health professional, but someone who has been there personally, click the link in the description box below, or you can go to the relationshipdetox.co. So www.therelationshipdetox.co to get some more information. The enrollment is always open from the 1st to the 5th of the month. So depending on when you watch this video, go ahead and get in as soon as you can if you find that it's a good fit, or you can join the wait list and get early access into the program. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.